The Galactic Council Hall floated in deep space, far from any star. It was a place of power, a place of rules, a place where fear was hidden behind calm voices. Hundreds of species sat in wide circles. Some had scales, some had fur, some were pure light. They had gathered for a simple reason, another routine meeting. At the center of the hall, a giant hologram showed a small blue planet. Earth. To the Council, Earth was nothing special. A young world, a noisy world, a divided world. Humans were known as clever, but weak, emotional, but short-lived. They fought each other more than anyone else. They had no seat in the Council. Earth was labeled as Primitive World 7. The meeting began. A tall, insect-like counselor spoke first. Earth remains unchanged. No threat detected. No advancement worth note. Many heads nodded. Another voice followed, calm and cold. Humans are close to interstellar travel, but still unstable. Observation continues. The Council was bored. Then, without warning, the lights dimmed. A sharp sound echoed through the hall. Not loud, not violent, just wrong. The central hologram flickered. Symbols appeared, ancient symbols that no one had seen for millions of years. The Council fell silent. Who authorized the signal? One counselor asked. No answer came. The symbols changed. They aligned into a pattern. Then a voice spoke. Not loud, not angry, not afraid. Just clear. You do not know our true name. The hall erupted in noise. Counselors shouted. Guards moved forward. Defense systems powered up. Trace the source, someone yelled. The AI systems responded instantly. Source, Earth. Shock spread like fire. That is impossible, said a reptilian elder. Humans do not have access to Council frequencies. The voice spoke again. You named us small. You named us weak. You named us wrong. The hologram of Earth zoomed in on its surface. Cities lit up. Oceans glowed. Satellites formed silent rings around the planet. The Council realized something terrifying. This was not a leak. This was permission. Ancient systems began to wake. Red warning symbols appeared around the hall. One of the oldest Council members, a being made of crystal and light, spoke softly. I remember this pattern. It said, I remember this voice style. Others turned toward it. You remember humans? Someone asked. No, the ancient one replied. I remember their silence. The voice continued. Long ago we chose quiet, not because we were weak. The star map behind the Earth hologram shifted. Several systems went dark, not destroyed, just hidden. Council scanners failed to read them. Fear entered the room. The voice spoke again, slower now. We watched you grow. We watched you forget. A counselor slammed a claw on the table. End this transmission. They tried. Nothing happened. The signal did not resist. It simply ignored them. That scared them more than an attack. You erased our old name from your records. The voice said, but names are not destroyed so easily. The ancient crystal being trembled. Council, it whispered. There was once a world like Earth. A world that ended wars. The hall went silent again. The voice reached its final message. Earth has many names. Home. Cradle. Battlefield. The hologram showed humans, not soldiers, not kings, just ordinary people, working, laughing, watching the stars. Then the voice ended with one final line. But only one name made the galaxy afraid. The signal cut. Lights returned to normal. No alarms. No damage. But the council was changed. No one spoke. No one moved. Finally, the insect counselor whispered, what is Earth's true name? The ancient being closed its many eyes and answered with fear in its voice. If humans remember it, it said, the galaxy will never be the same. The Galactic Council was still reeling from the human signal. Whispers filled the great hall. No one dared speak the words aloud. Could it be? Asked the feathered counselor, voice shaking. The humans remembered? The crystal elder did not answer immediately. Its light flickered like a dying star. Finally it spoke. Not remembered, always known. We simply forgot. The Council's AI systems, ancient and precise, began digging through eons of archives, millions of files, star maps, histories of hundreds of worlds. Nothing, or almost nothing. There, hidden deep beneath centuries of erased data, was a record, a single small file labeled Terra, the true name. The room fell silent. Terra? Whispered a counselor made of living shadows. A human word? The elder nodded slowly. Yes, once, this world was called Terra. Long before the council decided humans were weak, before their wars, before we hid their history. The AI displayed images from the record, cities older than any council memory, machines of impossible precision, ships that had traveled across galaxies, humans in great battles, not as weak prey, but as guardians of the stars. No counselor could look away. You mean, said a winged counselor, voice trembling, we erased them? The elders' glow dimmed. We feared their power. We feared what they could become. We erased their name, their history, their victories, so that no one would remember, so that they would remain small in our eyes. The images shifted to show humans choosing silence. They did not conquer. They did not attack. They only protected. Why? A reptilian counselor asked. Why hide the truth? The crystal elder's voice shook like ice cracking. Because humans do not need power to command respect. Their strength is discipline. Their patience infinite. They let us believe we controlled them while watching every move we made. Murmurs filled the hall. Shock turned into fear. Some counselors felt something they had never felt before, true uncertainty. A sudden alert blared across the hall. The AI had detected another signal. This one was not just a message. It was a demonstration. The hologram shifted. Earth appeared again. But now, it glowed with hundreds of hidden satellites, energy grids, and unseen defenses. Ships, invisible until now, moved silently above the planet. The council scrambled. Show the source, someone yelled. The AI hesitated. It could not trace it. Impossible, said the insect counselor. They have blocked all sensors. They are hiding in plain sight. Then a voice filled the hall. Not through speakers. Not through translation devices. Directly inside their minds. If humans remember, we are no longer your subjects. We are your equals. And some may become your masters. The counselors froze. Murmurs turned to panic. One elder fell to the floor, stunned. The voice spoke again, calm and deliberate. Your histories are wrong. Your maps are wrong. You called us weak. You called us small. But names can never hide the truth. The AI tried to respond, to defend the council. But it failed. The elder of crystal turned to the council. We made a mistake, it said softly, its light dimming further. The greatest mistake in all our centuries. We believed humans were nothing and we were wrong. The shadows whispered among themselves. Some feared war. Some feared punishment. All feared the unknown. A new file appeared in the hologram. It was old, ancient. Maps of stars humans had traveled centuries ago. Battle reports of human victories. Records of diplomacy with species no counselor had ever heard of. And at the center of it all, the name Terra glowed in golden letters. This is impossible, said a counselor. How did they survive? How did they hide all this? The elder's glow pulsed with worry. They did not hide, it said. They chose. They waited. And now we see them for the first time. A shadowed counselor spoke next, voice trembling. And the signal, why now? After all this time? The crystal elder looked toward the Earth hologram. Because humans remember themselves, it said. And when they remember, the galaxy must listen. The room fell silent. Then one of the insect counselors whispered in disbelief. Terra, the name, it carries power, does it not? The elder nodded slowly. Yes, not the power of weapons, not the power of conquest, but the power of respect and fear. And it is a power we have never fully understood. They are not weak. They are not small. They are something else. Something we forgot to fear. Far away from the council, on Earth, humans live their lives quietly. They walked streets, tended gardens, laughed with friends, and stared at the stars. To anyone watching, they seemed ordinary, weak, harmless, but they were not. The Galactic Council had just discovered a truth Earth had known for centuries. Humans were never weak. They had chosen silence. A deliberate, patient silence that masked their true strength. Long ago, humans had risen to great power. They had traveled beyond their solar system. They had fought wars not for conquest, but to protect. They had seen civilizations fall to greed, to arrogance, to war. And they had learned a lesson. Power without control is destruction. A human ambassador once said, "We will not rule. We will not destroy. But we will never be helpless again." So humans retreated. Quietly, carefully. They erased themselves from galactic memory. They let others believe they were small, unimportant, and divided. The Council had never noticed that while humans were silent, they were learning, waiting, preparing. In the Council Hall, confusion spread. "How could a species so small hide so much?" whispered the Crystal Elder. "They did not hide," replied the Insect Counselor. "They waited, and that is worse than hiding. That is planning." The shadows shivered. "The humans we mocked, they were never naive," said a winged counselor. "They were disciplined, patient, unpredictable." The hologram of Earth appeared again. Images flashed across the screen. Humans building massive space stations hidden in asteroid belts. Fleets of ships beyond detection. Energy shields that could hide entire continents from sensors. The Council watched in disbelief. "Why show us now?" asked the reptilian counselor. "Why not continue to remain unknown?" The Crystal Elder's voice was soft, but firm. "Because humans remember who they are. And when they remember, the galaxy must pay attention." A new signal activated from Earth. It was calm, measured, full of purpose. "You called us small. You called us weak. You were wrong," it said. "We are guardians. We have always been, and we will act if needed." The Council was silent. No alarms, no weapons, only fear. For the first time in history, they felt uncertain. One counselor finally asked, voice trembling, "Do they plan to attack us?" The Elder shook its crystal form. "No, humans do not attack without reason. They protect, they wait, and their patience is longer than we can imagine." The shadows whispered among themselves. Some still could not believe it. Some feared what would come next. Then another message appeared. "We chose silence because we learned from history. Power without control destroys all. We survived by hiding, not because we were weak, but because we were wise." The counselors looked at each other. They realized their mistake. Humans had never been naive. They had never been primitive. They had been playing a long game, one the Council had never understood. The AI systems tried to respond, to warn the Council, but the human message ignored them, like a calm ocean ignoring the tiny ripple wind. The Crystal Elder turned to the Council, voice trembling. "We called them weak, but they're not just strong. They are patient, strategic, and they never forget." A sudden alert rang across the hall. Not a signal, not a weapon. It was a demonstration. The Earth hologram expanded. Stars aligned. Energy flares traced hidden routes across the galaxy. The humans were ready, even though the Council thought they were not. The Insect Counselor whispered in fear. "We always underestimated them, and now we see too much too late." The Elder's light flickered dim and steady. "Patience," it said softly. "Patience is their weapon. Silence is their shield. And the galaxy will only understand once it is too late." Another signal followed, slow and deliberate. "We have always waited. We have always watched. We do not seek war, but we do not fear it either." The counselors felt it. A new fear, not of attack, not of power, but of time. Humans did not rush. They waited, and waiting is a power the galaxy cannot fight. Silence returned to the hall. No one moved. No one spoke. The only sound was the soft hum of the ancient AI. Finally, the Crystal Elder said, "The greatest mistake we made was believing they were small. We forgot to fear patience, and we forgot to respect it. The shadows shivered. The insect counselor clenched its claws. The winged counselor bowed its head. And the galaxy realized for the first time that humans were not naive. They were something far more terrifying than anyone had imagined. They were waiting. They were watching. And one day, they would remember their true name. The Galactic Council was shaken. For centuries, they had ruled the stars with confidence. But now, a small, blue planet had shown them a truth they could not ignore. Earth, Terra, the humans had been underestimated. Fear spread quickly through the council hall. Whispers became panic. The insect counselor slammed a claw on the table. We cannot let them remain unknown. We must act. Send probes. Observe. Measure. Test their strength. Reluctantly, the council agreed. A fleet of sleek, invisible probes were dispatched toward Earth. No one spoke of attack. They called it observation. But every counselor secretly hoped for a confirmation of human weakness. Deep in orbit, the first probe approached Earth. It hummed silently, cameras and sensors ready. But the moment it entered Earth's atmosphere, something strange happened. The probe froze. Its sensors jammed. Communication cut off. Impossible, said the reptilian counselor. Earth's defenses, they should not exist at this scale. The AI system scrambled to regain control. Alarms flashed. Red lights glowed. But the probe did not respond. Not destroyed. Not captured. Simply vanished. A human voice echoed across the council hall. Not angry. Not commanding. Calm. Measured. Do not come closer. The counselors froze. Not a threat. Not a warning. Just a fact. The crystal elder whispered. They do not need weapons to defend themselves. Their presence is enough. Another probe attempted entry. This time, humans did not speak. Instead, the probe systems began to fail one by one. Its engines stuttered. Its energy grid collapsed. It tumbled through orbit harmlessly, a toy falling from the sky. The shadows shivered. The insect counselor's claws clenched. How? How can they control technology we cannot even see? The elder shook its crystal form. They do not control it. They understand it better than we ever could. Messages appeared across the council hall, projected directly into every mind. We see your probes. We know your fleets. We know your intentions. You are not yet a threat, but any misstep will be corrected. The council's panic deepened. This was not a war. This was a demonstration. Humans did not fight, yet they had shown absolute control. A winged counselor spoke, voice shaking. Have we made a mistake? The elder nodded slowly. The greatest mistake of our history. We believed humans were primitive. We believed silence was weakness. But now we see that they were always watching. The insect counselor growled. Watch? They've watched for centuries, and they have done nothing. The elder's glow pulsed. Patience is a weapon. Silence is their shield. And now, we are reminded how small our assumptions are. The hologram of Earth expanded. Cities glimmered with hidden energy. Satellites blinked into view. Ships, previously invisible, now hovered silently, like ghosts. No motion, no attack, only readiness. Another voice entered the council hall, calm and deliberate. We will not strike first. We do not seek conquest. We are not your enemies. But your probes, your attempts to spy reveal how little you know us. Panic turned to fear, not the fear of attack, the fear of unknown mastery. The insect counselor banged its claws again, voice trembling. We underestimated them. We underestimated Terra. We sent probes, we assumed weakness. The crystal elder's light dimmed. Yes, it said softly. The greatest mistake is believing that power is only weapons. Humans understand the stars, the minds, the systems. They do not need to attack. They do not need to fight. And that terrifies us. The council fell silent. No one dared speak. The shadows lowered their heads. The winged counselor's wings drooped. For the first time in history, the council did not feel in control. A final message from Earth appeared across all holograms. Do not come closer. We are not your subjects. We are not your playthings. We are observers, as you once were. Remember this. Patience is our strength. Silence is our shield. We wait and we watch. The council trembled. The humans had made one thing very clear. They did not need to strike. They had already won. The elder turned to the insect counselor. The greatest mistake was never underestimating their weapons. It was underestimating their wisdom. And the galaxy will only understand that when it is too late. Silence filled the hall. No alarms. No fleets. No attacks. Only the knowledge that the humans had revealed their power without lifting a hand. And somewhere on Earth, humans continued their quiet lives. Working, laughing, watching the stars. Patient, calm, ready. The council was still in shock. Their probes had failed. Their fleets were ignored. And the humans had not attacked. A hologram appeared in the middle of the hall. Not a soldier, not a weapon, but a human ambassador, calm, confident, and unarmed. The council stared. No one moved. No one spoke. The human spoke. Not loudly, not angrily, just clearly and deliberately. We have observed you, the human said. We know your fleets, your weapons, your histories. We know your fears, and we know your assumptions. The insect counselor growled. Why speak at all? Why reveal yourself? The human's gaze remained steady. Because we do not wish war. We do not wish to rule. We only wish to protect. We are guardians of what we have learned. We do not threaten. We do not attack. We only watch and act when necessary. The shadows whispered among themselves. The winged counselor lowered its head. Even the crystal elder's light flickered, not from fear, but from understanding. We let you believe we were weak, the human continued. We let you call us small. We chose silence because history taught us the cost of power without control. We remember, we observe, and we act only when it is required to preserve life. The council realized something they had never understood. Humans were not trying to dominate. They were not seeking revenge. They were patient, disciplined, principled. The insect counselor asked, claws trembling, You will not strike? The human smiled faintly. We will never strike first. We will never destroy without reason. But know this. Any attempt to harm others without cause will be met. We protect. We do not conquer. We guard. And the galaxy will learn that the hard way, if needed. The hall was silent. The council could not speak. No one moved. The human ambassador raised a hand, as if to calm them. We are not enemies. We are not rulers. We do not seek your fear. We only seek understanding and respect for life. We are humans. We are Terra. We are guardians. The crystal elder finally spoke, voice trembling. You are different from all species we have known. The human nodded. We are not perfect. We have failed. We have fought. But we have learned. And learning is stronger than any weapon you have ever built. A hologram expanded across the hall. Scenes of humans protecting other civilizations, quietly preventing wars, aiding species in secret. No glory, no pride, just action, silence, control. The counselors were silent. The winged counselor whispered. They have never sought power, yet they hold it all. The insect counselor growled softly. They could dominate the galaxy if they wanted, and yet they choose not to. The human ambassador's voice filled the hall again, calm and certain. We do not seek conquest. We do not need fear. We will not rule. We will protect. And that is enough. The shadows lowered their heads. The crystal elder pulsed faintly, almost with pride. Even the insect counselor paused, realizing the magnitude of what humans had revealed. For the first time, the council saw Earth not as a small, weak world, not as a primitive species, but as a silent guardian of the galaxy. The human ambassador stepped back. The hologram faded, and a single message remained, glowing across all council screens. We will not strike. We will not rule. But the galaxy must know, patience is our strength, silence is our shield, and guardianship is our way. The council understood. Humans were not conquerors. They were protectors. and the galaxy would never forget Terra's quiet power. The Crystal Elder spoke softly, almost to itself. They are not enemies. They are something greater, something we did not expect, something we cannot control. And in that moment, the Council realized that the galaxy had been waiting for humans to reveal themselves, not as rulers, not as conquerors, but as guardians. Far beyond the Council's gaze, in the dark edges of the galaxy, an ancient evil stirred, a species long thought extinct, a threat so vast, so powerful, that entire star systems had fallen before it. Its name had been whispered only in forgotten histories. It was called the Devourer, and it hungered for destruction. The Council's sensors detected the awakening. Red alerts flashed across every chamber. The insect counselor shouted, claws shaking, "We must act! Deploy fleets! Stop it before it reaches inhabited systems." The fleets mobilized at once. Ships faster than light, bristling with weapons, rushed to the front lines. But the Devourer moved faster. Entire systems were annihilated before the Council could react. Stars went dark. Planets fell silent. Panic spread through the Council Hall. The Crystal Elder glowed faintly, voice trembling. "We cannot stop it. Not with our fleets. Not with our fleets of weapons. We need something else." A message appeared, not from any Council fleet, not from any sensor, but from Earth. "We are ready," the human voice said. The Council stared. The shadows whispered that they will face it. The hologram expanded. Earth rotated, serene, peaceful. Humans did not rush to war. They did not mobilize fleets to attack. Instead, humans appeared in strategic locations across the galaxy. Not thousands, not millions, but enough. And every action was precise. One human vessel approached a Devourer strike fleet. It did not fire weapons. It emitted a pulse that neutralized engines. Shields collapsed. Energy weapons failed. Another fleet advanced. Again, humans did not strike. They controlled the battlefield without aggression. They guided surviving civilizations to safety. They repaired defenses faster than any Council fleet could move. The Devourer's hunger could not be satisfied. Every attack was countered. Every system saved. Every fleet neutralized. The Council watched in awe. The winged counselor whispered, "They are monsters, but not the kind we imagined. They do not destroy. They protect." The insect counselor growled, "They are stronger than all our fleets combined, and they do it without firing a shot." The Crystal Elder's light shone brighter than ever before. Patience, strategy, control. Humans are not weapons. They are guardians. They are the monsters we wish we had. The Devourer, massive and terrifying, struck at another system. Humans intercepted it again. Not with fear, not with anger, with calm precision. They corralled the Devourer away from inhabited planets. They trapped it using gravitational fields. They weakened its attacks using advanced technology the Council could barely comprehend. Hours became days. Systems were saved. Civilizations survived. And through it all, humans remained calm. The Council realized the truth. Humans did not need to dominate the galaxy. They did not need war to demonstrate power. Their strength lay in control, patience, and wisdom. Finally, the Devourer, exhausted and contained, retreated into the void. The threat was neutralized, not by force, not by conquest, by humans. The Council Hall fell silent. The winged counselor bowed deeply, voice trembling. They have saved us all, and we feared them. The insect counselor nodded slowly. They are different from everything we have ever known, stronger than any weapon, smarter than any fleet, and they do not seek to rule. They only seek to protect. The Crystal Elder pulsed warmly. They are not conquerors. They are not tyrants. They are something greater. They are guardians of life. And the galaxy will never forget Terra again. A human message appeared one last time across the Council screens. We did not seek glory. We did not seek fear. We only act when necessary. We are humans. We are Terra. We are guardians. And now the galaxy knows. The council could only watch. For the first time in its history, it had no authority, no control, no superiority. And yet it felt relief. For Earth had shown the galaxy that there was a force more powerful than fear, more lasting than weapons. A force called discipline, patience, and humanity. The council was silent. Every species, every member, felt the weight of what had happened. The Devourer had been stopped, not by fleets, not by weapons, but by humans. Now one question remained. The question that had haunted the galaxy for centuries. What is Earth's true name? A message appeared across all council screens. Not a threat, not a warning. Just a single phrase, spoken calmly, measured with authority. Our true name is Terra. The hall fell silent. Counselors repeated it quietly to themselves. Terra, whispered the winged counselor. The shadows trembled. Even the insect counselor's claws shook. The crystal elder pulsed with light. Stronger than ever. Terra, a name we erased. A name we tried to forget. And yet it carries power we cannot measure. The humans continued, their voice calm and deliberate. Terra is our name. It means home, cradle, and battlefield. It means resilience, patience, and guardianship. It is a name that reminds the galaxy that we do not seek power. We seek to protect. Counselors looked at each other in awe. The insect counselor whispered, "They have reminded us that names can carry history, and that history can shape the future." The hologram expanded, showing humans across the stars. They were not conquerors. They were not rulers. They were protectors. Every action deliberate, every choice measured. "We have waited," the human said, "for the right moment to reveal ourselves. We have observed, learned, and protected in silence. And now the galaxy knows who we are." The council realized that this was more than a name. It was a declaration, a promise, a warning. The shadows whispered, "They are not naive. They are not weak. They are eternal in patience, infinite in strategy, and unmatched in restraint." The insect counselor bowed, claws trembling. The galaxy underestimated them, and we were foolish to erase their history. The crystal elder's voice rang clear. Terra is not just a world. Terra is a force of protection, discipline, and wisdom. We call them small, but they are giants of the stars. The winged counselor looked at the hologram and whispered, "They are humanity. They are Terra, and the galaxy will never be the same." The humans ended their message simply. We were never hiding. We were waiting. We are Terra. We are guardians. And the galaxy is ours to protect, not to rule. A wave of realization spread across the council. They had feared humans. They had underestimated them. And now they understood. The true power of humans was not in weapons. It was not in numbers. It was not in fleets. It was in patience, wisdom, discipline, and the courage to act only when necessary. The galaxy fell silent. Every species, every system, every counselor understood the truth. Terra was not just a planet. Terra was a force of nature. Terra was humanity. And the name carried weight. A weight that would echo across stars, generations, and histories yet to be written. For the first time, the council realized that humans had never been their subjects. They had never been small. They had never been naive. They had been guardians. All along. And the galaxy would never forget Terra. Silence followed the revelation of Terra's true name. Across the galaxy, every council, every species, every world felt it. Not fear, not anger, but awe. For centuries, civilizations had assumed humans were weak. They had dismissed them. They had underestimated them. Now, the truth could not be ignored. The Galactic Council reconvened. Every species present wore an expression unlike anything before: humility, shock, and respect. The Crystal Elder began, voice steady but reverent. "We have witnessed a species that never sought domination. A species that survived through patience, wisdom, and restraint. A species whose strength lies not in weapons, but in discipline and action." The insect counselor's claws shook as it spoke. They did not conquer us. They did not destroy. And yet in every action, in every word, they hold more power than combined fleets of the council. The winged counselor added softly, "They are not rulers. They are guardians. They are the protectors of the galaxy, and they do not need recognition to wield that power." Across star systems, news of Terra spread like wildfire. Civilizations whispered of the humans' restraint, their courage, and their patience. Planets that had prepared for war now lowered their defenses. Species that had hoarded weapons now wondered, was power only measured by destruction? Meanwhile, on Terra, humans did not celebrate. They continued their lives. They continued their work. They continued to watch the stars. A human ambassador spoke to the council once more, calm and deliberate. "We do not seek glory. We do not seek fear. We act only to protect life. We do not rule the galaxy, but we will guard it. And in time, the galaxy will remember that we are Terra. We are humanity. We are guardians." The council listened in silence. For the first time, no one dared interrupt. No one dared argue. And then, something remarkable happened. The oldest counselor, a being of light and crystal, spoke. "Terra has reminded us of something long forgotten. That power is not measured by conquest. That strength is not in weapons alone. That wisdom, patience, and discipline are the true forces that shape the stars." Across the galaxy, alliances shifted. Species that had once fought each other now paused, remembering the human's example. Diplomacy replaced aggression. Protection replaced conquest. And yet, Terra did not claim credit. They did not demand recognition. They simply watched. The insect counselor asked quietly, "Will they intervene again?" The crystal elder replied, "When the galaxy is truly in danger, when life itself is at risk, then Terra will act. Until then, their silence is a warning, their patience is a shield, and their guardianship a lesson the galaxy cannot ignore." Even the Devourer, lurking in the dark edges of the galaxy, paused. It had felt the humans' presence. It had witnessed their strategy, and it retreated, knowing that Terra was not a threat to be fought, but a force to be reckoned with. In the council hall, the winged counselor whispered, "They are not rulers. They are not tyrants. They are the guardians we never knew we needed." The galaxy had learned its lesson. Names could be powerful. History could be rewritten. And patience, discipline, and humanity could outmatch any weapon. The humans of Terra continued their quiet lives. They laughed, they worked, they observed. But across the stars, every being now knew one undeniable truth. The galaxy is not safe because of fleets or weapons. It is safe because of Terra. It is safe because of humanity. It is safe because the guardians watch silently, patiently, always. And in the council hall, the crystal elder closed its eyes, light dimming softly. "We were wrong to forget them. We were wrong to erase their name. But we will remember Terra always." The galaxy had been changed forever, not by war, not by fear, but by a species that chose silence, a species that chose patience, a species called Terra.